Our learning target today is to graph cube roots of functions. This is very similar to graphing the square roots in that our steps are pretty much the same. We're going to start with the table of values for the basic cube root function, and then we're going to adjust y according to a stretch or compression or reflection, and then we're going to graph. And again, I would always insert the first step as to find the vertex. So our general form of our equation is down here, where y would equal the third root of x minus h plus k. The table of values that we need to look at for this problem are given to us right here. So this is something that we're going to need to remember. When we did square roots, we just started at 0, 0, but because cube roots can be negative, we start at -8. So when we look up above at our example, they graphed these points for us. They have -8, -2, -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and then 8, 2. And when we connect these, it's nice and smooth. It's almost vertical through the vertex, and then it goes on. So let's try that with our points, or with our problem down here. This -2, remember, tells us to go right 2, and the +3 tells us we're going to go up 3. So I know that my vertex is at +2, 3. So I'm going to come to +2, 3. So there's my vertex. And then from that point, +2, 3, I'm going to go left 8 and down 2. So left 8 and down 2. And then here it says left 1, down 1, 0, 0. Right 1, up 1. And then right 8, up 2. So right 8, 2. So those are the points that we need to connect as smooth as we can. It's kind of like a snake. It increases very slowly at the ends, increases rapidly through the vertex, and then slows down again. The domain, super easy. Always all real numbers from -infinity to +infinity. And the range is always the same thing too, -infinity to +infinity. The transformation that this one had was a translation 2 right and 3 up. Let's look at the next one. So this time we're going to have a stretch factor we'll have to deal with. We're going to go left 1 and down 4. So from the origin, left 1, down 4. And then we have to deal with our vertical stretch. So I'm just going to put another column in here with a 2y. So -2 times 2 is -4. -1 times 2 is -2. 0, 2, and +4. Now these are the new points I'm going to graph. So from the vertex, I'm going to try to go left 8, down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kind of off our grid a little bit, but it gives us an idea. Left 1, down 2. So from our vertex, left 1, down 2. And then right 1, up 2. Right 1, up 2. And then from the vertex, right 8, up 2. I'm sorry, up 4. So that gives us our graph. When we put the arrows on the ends. So our domain is all real numbers. Our range is all real numbers. The transformation, we translate 1 left and 4 down. And we have a vertical stretch of factor 2. When I did this, I realized I forgot to label the vertex, which is very bad. So let me get that in there really quick. Vertex, -1, -4. The problem down below is very similar to what we just had, only now our vertical stretch or compression out front is going to be a negative, so we know we're going to have a reflection. So I'm going to make a new column be negative y. So -2 times negative would be positive, positive 0, -1, -2. So x stays the same, y changes. Our vertex here is going to be -1, +5, -1, +5. And from the vertex, we're going to go left 8 and up 2. Oops, I have to move my label here. -1, +5. Then we said left 8 and up 2. Left 1, up 1. And then 0, 0 is the vertex. Right 1, down 1. And then right 8, down 2. And then put in our graph. Our domain and range are all real numbers. And our transformations here is we have a reflection in the x-axis, and we translate left 1 and up 5. The other thing we are going to look at today is getting equations into graphable form. It tells us here that we can graph functions in the form y equals the nth root of bx plus c using transformations if you can simplify the radical. So this is our general form. So our directions here are to rewrite. So we're not making things bigger or smaller, we're just rewriting. So you can graph the equation using transformations, then describe the graph. Well, we know that we want to have a number out in front, if at all possible. And when I look at y equals the square root of 9x plus 18, I notice that 9 and 18 have a common factor. So it's going to stay under the square root here. I'm just going to factor out the 9. And then that leaves us with x plus 18 divided by 9 is 2. And then I know the square root of 9 is 3, so I can change that part. Square root of 9 is going to come out front, and then we're left with the square root of x plus 2. So now we're in this standard form here. It's just that our k in the back is 0. You don't have to write it. You can if you want. So what this tells us is we have a stretch, factor 3, and we translate left 2. In this problem over here, we have y equals the cube root of 8x plus 32 minus 2. Notice the minus 2 is outside of the radical sign. We need to make sure it stays out there. We can't do 32 minus 2. Because 32 is in, 2 is out. So looking at my radicand, I see that 8x plus 12 has a common factor. So I'm going to factor out that common factor of 8. 32 divided by 8 is 4. And see, I'm just keeping this minus 2 way out on the end. Maybe a little too obvious, but better safe than sorry. The cube root of 8 is 2. This x plus 4 stuff gets stuck underneath. And because there's nothing else with the x plus 4, I don't need the parentheses anymore. And then bring down the minus 2. So that is in standard form. We know we have a vertical stretch factor of 2. And we know we translate left 4 and down 2. And then, oops, I think I went too far. Here we go. You can model the population P of Corpus Christi, Texas between the years of 1970 and 2005 by the radical function P of x equals 75,000 times the cube root of x minus 1950, where x is the year. Using this model, in what year will the population of Corpus Christi equal 250,000 people? So if they're going to be equal, I'm going to set my equation equal to the population. And then we're trying to solve for x. So first we're going to have to isolate the radical sign. So I'm going to have to divide both sides by 75,000. So we have the cube root of x minus 1950 equals 3.333. It's really 3 1/3, repeating forever. And then I want to get rid of this cube root, undo the root. We'll take it to the third power on both sides. So we get x minus 1950 equals 3.333 to the third power is about 37. I've rounded a little bit. Add 1950 to both sides. So we're saying that the populations will be equal in the year 1950. Not 1950. When we get our x equals 1987, that means in 1987, the population of Corpus Christi was predicted to be the 25 or 250,000 people that they had predicted us or asked us to predict. And that's really cool. It's a little bit of work to do problems like that. I want to show you how to do this whole entire problem using your graphing calculator. So the first thing it asks us to do is to input the function of y1. Well, that's going to be the 75,000 times the cube root of x minus 1950. So we'll put that into y1, and then y2 will be what we want our population to be. So let's get that much done. So I entered my equations. The calculator put in this parenthesis. You don't have to put that in. Depending on your operating system, it will or will not pop up. It doesn't matter. Now we need to see a picture of this. And I know I'm looking at values from 1970 to 2005. So I'm going to hit the window button, and I typed in 1970 to 2005. And then what I want to do is do the zoom, and we want to do a zoom fit. That's down at 0. You could just type zoom 0, but I want you to see that it really is zoom fit. And then when we graph that, we'll get our curve, that's our x1, and our x2. All that's left to do is find the point of intersection. So I go second, trace. I want number 5 where they intersect. And then it asks me some questions. First, curve. They've got y1 up here, so I'm just going to say OK, and I'll push enter. And now it changed to second curve, y2, sure thing, push enter. It asks me to guess. You don't have to guess. Just push enter again. And so they're saying that when x is about 1987, y is 250,000. So the exact same answer we got before, just another method of doing it. So just like before, x is equal to 1987. And for our summary today, I'd like you to write in your cube root table of those values starting with -8, and then answer the question, what is the difference between graphing the square root of x and the cube root of x? I asked for the difference. Maybe you'd rather say how are they the same, or maybe you want to do both. Remember, this is your summary. Put in what you need.